Make sure that you have strategies for the debt flow as well as cash flow, which is vital for getting the plane off the ground, but also tax flow. And tax flow has to do with capital gains tax in particular, what we specialize in. And what we found is the one thing that brings these all together is time. So if you can sell high and buy low, get out of bad debt when it's not a great time to do it, right? Get into good debt when it's a good time to do it. And that's where the deferred sales trust is so powerful.
So for those that aren't familiar with what a deferred sales trust is and who it's for, when it should be used, give us the layman's terms for those that, may not understand exactly how to leverage this vehicle.
Yeah, so we exist to unlock capital gains, to unleash freedom and impact, right? And so that's different for everybody. And that's a good way to put it. We have 12 major freedoms that we believe are the difference between us and these other strategies. Most strategies have one, two, or three of the freedoms. And a lot of the freedoms that a lot of people are searching after, financial freedom, right? They're looking for options to, build their wealth and compound their wealth. They're looking for opportunities to free up their time and their energy. And we found for some of the older blockbuster methods, such as the traditional 1031 exchange, is that they provide some of those, but oftentimes people get to a point where sometimes, like California, for example, can be difficult to own real estate in, right? The rent control, the laws, the restrictions, and just the red tape that are associated with that, where people want to be able to diversify and get some liquidity. There's three major areas that I try to help people with their mindset. Is we always have a cash flow mindset. Most people that we talk with already have that, and people listening probably have that. But do you have a tax flow mindset? Because taxes are our most expensive thing, essentially, that we're going to pay in our lifetime. And then you have a debt flow mindset, which is kind of the 3D, bringing them all together. Now, if you think about this for a second, we took debt for granted for many, many, many years because it was so affordable or so cheap, right?
Yeah.
Now we have kind of a debt crisis if you're in multifamily or different investments where the rate caps have expired. And because we didn't have a debt flow mindset, or we took it for granted and we didn't fix those rates for longer periods of time, now those deals are being soured, right, or poisoned, and otherwise are doing great except for the debt, right? And so we want to make sure that you have strategies for the debt flow as well as cash flow, which is vital for getting the plane off the ground, but also tax flow. And tax flow has to do with capital gains tax in particular, what we specialize in. And what we found is the one thing that brings these all together is time. So if you can sell high and buy low, get out of bad debt when it's not a great time to do it, right? Get into good debt when it's a good time to do it. And that's where the deferred sales trust is so powerful, because now you can bring these three things together and they're not, fighting one another, right? Like, for example, if you do a 1031 exchange today, a lot of sellers might have some good debt in place. Some of them have poor debt in place. But the prices versus the interest rates and that arbitrage is what you're looking at. You should be able to get positive arbitrage. And I think these deals are coming. In fact, I think 2024 is going to be the best buying opportunity we've seen in many, many years. But the deferred sales trust is truly the strategy that gives you those freedoms of time, debt freedom, liquidity freedom, diversification freedom, and timing freedom, while still remaining capital gains tax deferred, versus the 1031 exchange, which is that shotgun wedding where you're running around in 45 days to get engaged, 180 days to get married. And you're going, I knew I was overpaying 2 years ago, right? But I felt like I had no choice. And now you're looking back and going, gosh, I wish I would have not have bought that deal. I wish I had paid off my debt. I wish I would have gotten diversified. Even if you had to pay the tax, people would still have done that, knowing what we know now. And that's essentially what we learned in the '08 crash. And we're seeing a lot of these things again, but not to that extent of that, how people got hurt there, but still the same concepts apply. And that's where the deferred sales trust is so powerful.